And just before the House was scheduled to vote on that funding bill, New York Congressman Jamal Bowman pulled a fire alarm inside the Cannon House office building. This photo has just been released by U.S. Capitol Police. Congressman Bowman told reporters he was trying to get through a door and thought the alarm would open that door.
All right, let me introduce you to Jamal Bowman, a U.S. Congressman who represents New York's 16th District. Now, he's a member of the Squad. This is a group of 8 progressive Democratic members of the U.S. House of Representatives. They champion platforms like Medicare for All and the Green New Deal. Now, after completing his undergraduate studies at the University of New Haven, he began a career as a crisis intervention teacher in a Bronx public school, later earning a master's degree in guidance counseling from Mercy College and a doctorate from Manhattan College. In 2009, he founded the Cornerstone Academy for Social Action in the Bronx. There, he served as a principal for about a decade. Now, on September 30th, 2023, an incident took place at the Capitol. Bowman's actions led to an immediate investigation with various media outlets reporting differing accounts and opinions. During a vote in Congress, Bowman pulled a fire alarm in the Cannon office building, one of the congressional office buildings, that caused that building to be evacuated. Bowman claimed it was an accident. Here is his statement.
He later released a statement reading in part, quote, "Today I was rushing to make a vote. I came to a door that is usually open for votes, but today would not open. I'm embarrassed to admit that I activated the fire alarm, mistakenly thinking it would open the door. I regret this, sincerely apologize for any confusion this caused, but I want to be very clear, this was not me in any way trying to delay any vote."
Now, even CNN, who is left-leaning, questioned how could someone pull a fire alarm accidentally.
To all the antics we saw up on Capitol Hill earlier today, I guess somebody pulled a fire alarm. Democratic Congressman Jamal Bowman is under investigation for pulling a fire alarm in the House Cannon office building. Bowman's was identified by security footage, and his office says this was just an accident. You know, I don't know how you accidentally pull in a fire alarm, SC, but I mean, and all kidding aside, they are taking this somewhat seriously. This is no joking matter up on Capitol Hill, as juvenile as it sounds.
Yeah, at best it's childish. At worst, this is obstruction of Congress or obstruction of an official proceeding. Those are real things. And I don't know if he did this intentionally, and we'll have to wait to see, and we certainly shouldn't impugn him before we know more. We know he pulled it. He admits that.
Now, Fox News took a more critical approach, hosting a panel that mocked Bowman and playing this litany of Congress people questioning Bowman's rationale about it being a mistake.
Republicans not buying this was just an accident. Some say Congressman Bowman should be expelled from the House.
Claims that it was a mistake, thinking that it would open the door. That doesn't really pass the sniff test.
If you believe what Bowman is saying, you're just buying into the blinded lie that he's saying.
I would think a principal of a middle school would know the difference between a fire alarm and a button that you push to open a door.
We'll have a full investigation, but think about how other people were punished who they believe done something wrong inside that Capitol.
It is an appropriate next step to make sure that he is held accountable, that there are consequences for his actions.
Now, the motives behind Bowman's actions are still unclear, leading to widespread speculation. Now, some are claiming that he was trying to delay the vote by the U.S. House for funding the government. Others claim it was just a mere misunderstanding. There's a lot of confusion. Now, the discussion around his actions seemed to revolve around 2 possibilities. 1, that he was trying to delay the House vote, and 2, that he was just some clueless dummy who pulled a fire alarm thinking it would open a door. And there are some people who are defending Brown's actions, like Sunny Hostin from The View. Here's what she had to say about Bowman pulling the fire alarm and being in panic mode.
And I don't want to call it a stunt yet. There's going to be an investigation. I know Jamal. And so, again, I'm a little biased. But the doors that are normally open so that he could get to the chambers to read were somehow miraculously closed. How did that happen? And so, yes, sometimes you're freaking out and you're in an elevator and you're pressing all the buttons.
I think Sunny is confessing to pulling fire alarms in the past. She seems like she's been panicked before. Fellow Squad member Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez also came to his defense. Now, when you listen to this, you're going to hear the whataboutism and the panic black man theory. It's hilarious. Listen to it.
Interesting moment over the weekend when your New York colleague, Congressman Jamal Bowman, and he's under investigation for this now after Capitol Police say he pulled a fire alarm in one of the House office buildings. Democrats were trying to delay a final vote on the bill. There he is pulling the fire alarm. He says it was an accident. He thought pulling the alarm would open a door based on the fact that the doors to his right there were locked, and there was a sign that he said he was, I think someone said it was confusing. I'll be honest, it doesn't really make sense to me, his explanation. Have you talked to him? What's going on there?
I mean, listen, I think if you actually do see some of the photos of the signs, I think there's something to be said about the government's about to shut down. There's a vote clock that's going down. The exits that are normally open in that building were suddenly closed.
So you pulled a fire alarm?
So what I am here to say is that House administration and U.S. Capitol Police and Jamal Bowman are an active, and he's fully participating in saying there was a misunderstanding. But what I do think is important to raise is the fact that Republicans, representatives like Nicole Malliotakis and others, immediately moved to file motions to censure, motions to expel, before there has even been conversations that are finished to even see if there was a misunderstanding here. But what they did do, while they did that, what they did not do was to commit to the same when George Santos was actually found guilty after a thorough investigation of 13 federal charges. He's indicted on everything from wire fraud to actual lying of House investigators. And they have been buddying up and giggling with him on the House floor, and they are protecting someone who has lied to the American people, lied to the United States House of Representatives, lied to congressional investigators, but they're filing a motion to expel a member who, in a moment of panic, was trying to escape a vestibule. Give me a break. And so the idea that there is somehow any kind of equivalence to someone who is actively trying to clear up a situation that he himself admits he's embarrassed. He released a statement last night. He apologized. And they are protecting someone who has not only committed wire fraud, not only defrauded veterans, not only lied to congressional investigators, but is openly gloating about it, is absolutely humiliating to the Republican caucus. And I think that they should really check their own values.
There's another Republican who's been indicted also that they've been defending, but we don't have the time to go into all of those charges, 91 of them.
So AOC's got his back, even though his excuse is ridiculous. Now, there's one fact I want you to consider. The Cannon office building is not where the vote was taking place, but an office building near the Capitol. So I don't know if pulling a fire alarm in a building across the street can stop the vote in another building, but those are the facts. So at the end of the day, do you think this congressman was trying to delay the vote by pulling an alarm in a building across the street? Now, I do want to say this is an educated congressman. He was a principal at a school. And does he really want us to believe that he thought this was some tragedy of mind and that he got so confused that he didn't know what he was doing? Like, here is what the alarm looks like. Just look at it for yourself. This doesn't say pull to open the door, right? It's clearly a fire alarm. Now, I think if Congressman Bowman was still a principal and a kid came to his office claiming that they accidentally pulled the fire alarm, they would be getting detention. I kind of think the front page of the New York Post says it all. Does this look like a door handle to you? Representative Bowman's absurd alarm excuse exposed. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Well, let me know if you think the congressman was just some clueless idiot who was just pulling the alarm because he thought it opens the door even though it's clearly here says fire, or do you think that there is something more nefarious going on here? Again, I think both claims maybe have issues because on one side you're saying he's doing it to stop a vote, but he's pulled the alarm in a different building. But on the other side you're saying he's some clueless idiot, but this is a guy with a doctorate and he's pulling something that clearly says fire. So I don't know. It's, maybe there may be some other explanation, but what we got now from both sides doesn't really seem to match the facts. But again, let me know what you feel in the comment section. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you next time. Peace.